Hello everyone, welcome to SNS. This is AWS's notification service. This is the simplest and easiest service provided by AWS. But this is an important one. This is our agenda. We'll see a little bit of free SNS. We'll see what SNS topics are. Then we'll have only one demo, not two. Let's talk about subscription. You must have seen subscription ample number of times. How subscription works. I hope all of you know about YouTube, which is an online video streaming platform. In YouTube, there's a concept called channel. People create YouTube channels and upload videos there so that whoever is interested can watch those videos. There are three parties involved here. First is the subscribers who watch videos from YouTube channels. The videos are uploaded by publishers. They create videos and upload them in a timely manner. The subscribers can choose to subscribe to individual channels so that whenever the publishers upload videos, they are notified using push notification or using emails. The communication is asynchronous. So the three parties involved here are the publishers, subscribers, and YouTube itself. YouTube hosts all the videos in their data centers. We can extend the same concept in simple notification service as well. We have three parties here: publishers, subscribers, and SNS. From SNS we get topics, which are like YouTube channels. Subscribers do not need to be online or they do not need to be running as well. SNS acts as a communication channel between two parties, publishers and subscribers. All communication are asynchronous. That means the endpoints or the subscribers or the publishers do not need to be online at the same time. Here we have AWS SNS and it provides us a component called topic. We have subscribers or consumers. Consumers receive notification messages from a topic, but someone or something has to put those messages in the topic. Those are called publishers. They publish messages to a topic which are pushed to the subscribers or consumers. In AWS, subscribers and consumers can be a Lambda function, SQS endpoint, HTTP or HTTPS endpoints. Basically, this is a program or web service which messages can be sent to and they can consume that message. Email IDs of persons or administrators, phone numbers of admins for SMS messages. Publishers can be CloudWatch Alarm, which we already used in autoscaling. It can be other AWS service as well. Let's see a demo now. We'll create an SNS topic. We'll create an email subscription for the topic created above, and the endpoint should be email ID. We'll publish a message to the SNS topic and we'll see how it works. I'll also show you integration with CloudWatch. We'll spin up an EC2 instance and we'll hog the CPU of it, and when it happens, we'll use the CloudWatch alarm to send a notification to the SNS topic which we just created. To create SNS topic, you have to go to the SNS console. Now SNS falls under the category of application integration. There's an application architecture called PubSub or Publish Subscribe. SNS falls in that category. We have topic here. Messages are pushed or published to this topic. Whoever has subscribed to this topic, those endpoints will get the message. This is the publish side or pub, and this is the subscriber side or sub. Now the components which are at both the sides, in case of AWS, on publish side we can have CloudWatch, on the subscribe side we have HTTP, HTTPS endpoints, Lambda, email, etc. They do not need to be online. That means even if this component is down, the messages will be delivered once this comes up. We do not need to run these components in a demonized way. That means you do not need to run these components all the time. Publishers publish to the topic and they forget about it. Topic will push those messages to the subscriber, and subscriber should have a way to accept or get these messages. SNS works on push model. That means the messages which are here, those are pushed to the subscribers. To create SNS, go to the SNS console. This is the landing page. Click on get started. This is SNS dashboard, and the first thing which we'll do is create topic. You can create topic from the dashboard, or you can go to the topics pane and then click on create new topic. You have to give a display name, and the display name cannot be more than 10 characters. Display name is something which will be displayed when this SNS topic is pushed to the subscriber endpoints. Click on create topic and take a note of the topic URL. This is the topic earned. Now we'll have to create subscriptions who would subscribe to this topic. Click on subscription and then click on create subscription. Here you'll have to give the topic earned and then multiple protocols. You can have HTTP, HTTPS, email, JSON, SQS and Lambda. We'll use email, or we could have used email JSON also. The endpoint would be my email ID. Click on create subscription and the subscription has been created, but it is waiting for confirmation. Now I'll have to log into my email ID and confirm this subscription because the subscription was created from AWS side and SNS would not know whether that particular person would like to get messages from this topic. I have got an email from AWS FND Top. This is the display name and it is saying that the email is for subscription confirmation. Click on the email and then the message would say that you have chosen to subscribe to this topic. This is the ARN of the topic, and to confirm this subscription, click the link. If you click this link, then the subscription would be confirmed. Subscription has been confirmed. If I go now in SNS and click refresh, this is the subscription ARN. If any message is published to this topic, that message should be sent to my email ID directly or the subscription which has my email ID as its endpoint. Click on this topic and then click on publish to this topic. You'll have to mention some subject name. This is the message. Now if you see, it's a very simple test message, but typically it will contain application messages or application data. Maximum size can be 256 kilobytes. There are multiple message key attributes and you have TTL also. How long you want this message to be there in SNS. And then message attributes, it will be key value pair. This will typically be used by HTTP or HTTPS endpoints wherein you'll have some programs running and the programs will take some action based on the message attributes. Click on publish message. So the message has been published. I should get a message or email message in my email ID. So if you see here, AWS FND Top has sent me another email which contains this message, AWS Foundation SNS demo publishing message to a topic. And the subject is AWS Foundation SNS Top demo. You can stop subscription from the link also. This is the link. If you click on this link, the subscription to that SNS topic would be gone. That's how SNS topic ends with email endpoints. Now I'll use CloudWatch to publish message to this topic and then eventually it'll go to or come to my email ID. Here we have CloudWatch and its alarm. Whenever the threshold of this alarm is breached, CloudWatch would publish a notification to SNS topic and SNS in turn would push that message to my email ID. Let's go ahead and do that. I can launch an EC2 instance here. I'm in Ohio region, but before that, let me go ahead and create an alarm. I'll use this EC2 instance, which is MongoDB 1. Click on create alarm. The matrix would be for MongoDB 1 EC2 instance, and we are bothered about CPU utilization. Mention the relative time from 10 minutes ago to 0 minutes ago. Click on next. Give this a name. Whenever CPU utilization is more than 80% for 1 out of 1 data points, and the period will be 1 minute. Actually, we do not need period because what I'll do is I'll mention treat missing data as bad. So this alarm would be an alarm state from the beginning itself. So in the actions, as you already know, we can mention a notification action, an auto scaling action, and an EC2 action. I'll mention send notification to SNS topic. The name of the topic is AWS Foundation topic. Select this one which has an email list of this one and then select create alarm. So as it was insufficient data and I have selected to treat missing data as bad, so the alarm state has been raised immediately. This alarm has sent a message to the SNS topic or has published a message to the SNS topic, and in turn SNS is pushing the message to my email ID, which is the endpoint. So I should get an email in my email ID. So this is the email message which I have got from the topic AWS FND Top. It is saying alarm is AWS Foundation high CPU in US East Ohio. This is the data which has been sent. This is the message body, and if you see, all these data were published by CloudWatch to this SNS topic, and SNS topic has sent the exact same message to my email ID. It is the matrix namespace, which is EC2, the matrix name, a CPU utilization, this is the instance ID, period is 60 seconds, and all the other information. This is how SNS can be used in conjunction with CloudWatch to deliver messages to your email ID. Could have been an HTTP or HTTPS endpoint. It could have been a Lambda function also.